Did you know that the souls of angels from heaven are confined in the ward stones?
I had guessed as much. Many angels fought alongside us in the First Crusade. Heaven was unable to mobilize its full might to aid us, but individual celestials volunteered to fight for our cause. Then one day, they all vanished, saying that they were setting off on an important mission. Not long after, Iomede's herald erected the first wardstone in Canobris, and then the others in cities across Mendev. Even back then, I had nagging doubts, but my faith in Iomede easily assuaged them. It is for us to serve the goddess after all, not to question her works.
But you're a queen. Like, you're in charge of people. The whole point of you is to question everything to protect your people. Can you imagine if she had questioned this back then? The only thing the wardstones were, in actuality, is a band-aid, right? Like, we all know it. The wardstones are a band-aid. They didn't solve the problem. They didn't solve the world wound problem. They were a band-aid. They just kind of kicked the can down the road. If Galfrey had questioned this when they went up, if she had been like, no, we need to fix the problem while this use the band-aid, but also fix the problem and then release the angels, would we even be here? Would Tarendulif have died? Would Daskari have been able to do what Daskari did now? Probably not. I mean, everything would be different, yes. But, you know what I mean?
In any case, I am glad you did not allow the demons to commit sacrilege and gain control over the wardstone in Canopris. We might have lost one of the wardstones, but the chain is still standing.
When we met at Defender's Heart, I never imagined you make me the commander of the crusade. I have some questions about the mission to retake Dresden.
Of course. I shall answer.
How'd the demons manage to conquer the city?
That's a good question. Its walls were built by dwarf craftsmen, and the power of the Sword of Valor protected the city. Alas, where raging hordes failed, a single lying tongue was all they needed to succeed. The demoness Minago convinced a young and ambitious crusader named Staunton Vane that the banner belonged on the battlefield. He went on a daring and unapproved raid, and the banner ended up in the enemy's hands. The city fell soon after. Ever since then, for 7 decades, it has served as a citadel for the forces of the Abyss.
So, Galfrey is sending us on a mission that hasn't been accomplished or hasn't been attempted or hasn't been successful in 7 decades. It's been decades and no one managed to retake the city. Why do you think we're different? Let's hear this.
We have a chance now that we haven't seen in decades. But it's more than that. You created this chance for us by foiling the demons' plans in Canabris. The army who attacked the city came straight from Dresden. Demon hordes from the Abyss are usually encamped there, but many of them perished on the streets of Canabris. We must attack swiftly, before they can restore their forces. When the city is free and the Sword of Valor appears before our soldiers, they won't be sending in any more reinforcements. Demons cannot teleport into an area protected by the banner of the goddess.
What about your long-term goals? Do you know how to get rid of the world wound forever?
Now you are talking like a real knight commander. However, answering your question is not easy. To win this war, we must bar the demon's way. There are a few planar rifts leading to the Abyss across the territory we call the world wound. The best specialists we could find have tried to close them on separate occasions, with no success, as you may have guessed. The world wound is more than just a chain of portals to the Abyss. We do not understand its nature yet. The methods of rift closure known to magical science simply do not work here. However, we have a hypothesis, and a rather well-grounded one, that we must begin at the source of the problem, the place where the world wound was opened. The main rift lies through the city of Iz and the Threshold Fortress, deep in the former lands of Sarkoris. We have never managed to fight our way so far and gain a foothold to allow the mages to explore the origins of the world wound. So, the next step, after you succeed in Dresden, is an offensive push deeper into the world wound, with the aim of reaching Threshold, the very threshold of the Abyss.
All right, no more
Wonderful.
questions. You should know I received a death of an angel. Somehow he was able to grant me the ability to reveal the light of heaven.
Lariel. I knew him. He disappeared shortly before the world wound grew, and Dresden fell into the enemy's hands. In the chaos, we had more important concerns than investigating the fate of a single angel, even one so righteous and beloved as Lariel. And afterward, matters took a turn for the worse. The angels left us to go on their special mission. It is so strange to hear the names I used to hear when I was young, like getting a message from the past. It is sad news, but it brings me back to the times when we strongly believed in our victory, and we rushed headlong toward it without fear. Could it be that such times have come again?
So when we met, never imagined you made me the new commander.
Some actions may be deemed bold, or even extreme, and beyond those, there are some you might call the Queen's last resort. I am not a simple monarch. I am at war with the Abyss, a war which has lasted over 100 years. I cannot allow myself the luxury of caution. In you, I see a chance, and I am willing to stake everything on it. However, you cannot blame me for putting you in charge of the crusade. I only formalized what had already happened in the hearts and minds of many.
She had no choice.
People spoke of the power that descended upon you and helped you save the Wardstones from corruption and total destruction. Word of this feat quickly spread far beyond the borders of Mendev. There was no other person who could better fit the role of Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade.
Like, the one important thing is, this is actually really well written and really carefully written. She said, I only formalized what had already happened in the hearts and minds of many. Meaning, if she didn't do this, her power was threatened. Because if the queen isn't getting results, but Abby is she going to lose the favor of the people? So the only way to keep herself as queen and to keep people happy with her was to bring Abby in as the commander of the Fifth Crusade, because now Abby works for Galfrey. So therefore everybody likes Galfrey that likes Abby. You know what I mean? So that was the very careful move done here. And I think one of the things that Wrath does really, really, really well is show how at times there have to be very delicate moves done, and you don't understand necessarily why these delicate moves are being done when they are. And then after you play a few times, you start to see why Galfrey puts you in this position. You start to see the carefully worded, carefully played pieces and stuff like that. It's so good. It's so good. So what are you gonna do?
Overlooking a spot of insubordination just at the moment. However, I shall answer you. I shall prepare the defenses at Nerosian and all the other border cities and plan the future of the Fifth Crusade. Does that satisfy your curiosity, Knight Commander?
So, does the church really spend so much effort in prolonging your life just so you can watch the battle from the rear? You're the living banner of the Crusades. So, I am curious. Like, I do the lawful, right? It's like one of the few lawful times. But I'm wondering if I just do thank you for the reply this time, because, like, on one hand, it's a good idea. On the other hand, does Abby really want Galfrey? You know what? No, I think we're going to go for it. Does the Church of Iomedae really spend so much effort to prolong your life?
Time since anyone tried to talk to me quite like that. Like an interrogator at a trial. I don't know if you realize what you're suggesting. If our enemies in the depths of the wound were to discover that I was with your army, they would immediately send their most vicious demons to attack. They would stop at nothing to be rid of me, and thereby sow chaos across Mendev. But you are right. I shouldn't be sitting it out in the rear. I am a warrior queen, and a queen of warriors. Yet my fighters have forgotten what I look like. Fine. I shall join the crusade, but on my own terms. First, I shall assemble my entourage and lead the parade out of the camp. I shall catch up with you later, along with a few hand-picked bodyguards. We'll change our armor, and I'll become a knight of a minor order and join the troops incognito. Until we approach Dresden, no one should know I am among you. But before we storm the city, I shall show myself to the troops and join the battle. Let it be a surprise for the demons. I hope you won't complain of my company on the road, Commander, since you were the one who insisted upon it. Do you have any other questions?
Thinking about what we just did logically, Abby might not be the biggest Gallifrey fan, but Abby knows that her troops are. And she knows how important it is for the troops to see the Queen, especially before we do something as big and as potentially stupid as taking Dresden. So I really like that you do have this opportunity to do that, because even if you do like Gallifrey, this is great. If you don't like Gallifrey, you could come at it rather from the perspective of being a commander who just wants to do the right thing already for her troops. So Abby already is filling that role really well, and I really like the way that story works.
Splendid. Ah, yes. We have one final matter to attend to. It should be rather enjoyable. Count, there you are. You received my instruction?
I did, though I did not have time to read the thing before I was dragged before your majesty. In truth, I was readying myself to depart.
No matter. I trust you will forgive your sovereign for the rather brusque summons, especially when you learn what prompted it. As you are aware, she has recently been appointed my Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade. I spent a long while pondering whom to appoint to the highly sensitive post of Commander's Field Attaché and Advisor Plenipotentiary without portfolio. Congratulations, Count.
I swear, she made this up. She made this all up. These are not actual roles.
It is a great honor, I suppose.
What a wonderful gesture. I imagine our dear Count would have been inconsolable if you hadn't given him this chance to serve the common cause.
I knew you would approve, Commander. I had my doubts about whether you were ready for such a responsibility, Count, but your conduct in Kenobris has put my mind at ease. So, you will travel with the troops to Dresden. Only the Commander may remove you from your post, but I trust that you will dutifully fulfill her orders and make a good showing of yourself. Especially since word of your appointment, Count, will reach the court at any moment. All of Mendev's nobility will be following your successes in service to the nation, including all of your devoted admirers. I even heard that one bard with whom you are particularly friendly has already begun composing a ballad to honor your heroic participation in the crusade and your faithful service to the commander here.
Your largesse truly knows no bounds, dear cousin. I am most gratified by the honor you have shown me.
Then let's get going. May Ayomade help us.
She outplayed Darren, which I actually find to be amusing. I don't know if Darren thought Darren could be outplayed quite like that. Oh, wait a second, head. But yeah, she outplayed Darren. And, well, I don't like her. I do find the outplaying of Darren to be probably one of the most hilarious things ever. Because, like, he just doesn't see it coming. Poor guy. He just thinks that it's not gonna be him. It's not gonna happen. And then you're like, no, it was you. Wait. Are these? No, did we not get the, oh no. I know what I forgot to get at Grey Garrison. We didn't get the, storyteller's writing. Ah, crap. I forget where that is. Probably in like one of the few areas we didn't go in. Oh no, that's sad. That's okay though. We'll find others. I'm curious, actually now what happens if you don't find it. This was all for the sake of what happens if you don't do it. Yes, that's what we're gonna go with. 100%. Oh my gosh, you're huge. Commander, allow me to say something. Before you, this wasn't a war. It was agony, drawn out over decades. No one believed in victory anymore. When the demons attacked the city, for some it was a relief. At least the end had come. They'd lay down their weapons and surrender without a fight. I felt the same thing, but I somehow got through on stubbornness and the vague hope that if nobody found Inevia's body, she might by some miracle have survived, and that miracle was you. You returned my beloved to me when I nearly lost all hope of seeing her alive again. Then you went on a suicide mission to the Grey Garrison and won back the city for us. You turned a defeat into a victory. I know it wasn't easy, but you make everything seem so effortless. You do everything just like that, she says with a snap of her fingers. The Queen believes in your powers too, but for me, they're just more proof of what I felt that day when I saw Nevia alive standing next to you. You're a miracle we've been waiting for. You're the one who will finally put an end to this terrible war, and in spite of everything, deliver us the victory we so desperately need. With you, I'm sure this crusade will achieve what others could not. I have to go. Thank you for that. That was very sweet, actually. Kian, come with me. Oh, wait, is that Ember? My daughter. Ember is bobbing her head and humming a tune. She greets you with a carefree, cheerful smile. Her wandering eyes linger on you for just a moment before darting off into the distance. The Queen gave me the title of Knight Commander, put me in charge of an army. What do you think about that? The elf focuses her wandering gaze on your eyes, smiles, and shakes her head. Don't believe titles. All of us in the world are children of the street, barefoot, hungry, scared, a step away from death. Some imagine they're strong and rich like gods, but don't forget who you really are behind the title. Yep. Ember keeps you humble. How are you handling the new abilities? Abilities? What are you talking about? Oh, the tricks you learned when the big gray house blew up? They're funny. Thanks for teaching them to me. I love her. Also, Ember, 100% the only person who's going to always keep you humble. Albrig, you're hanging out here. So, you're war chief now. You're gonna lead us to free Sarkorian from those Fae? Albrig nods his head with respect. I felt it the moment I saw you. This one is special. But that you go and get yourself a whole army in no time? That I didn't expect. Well, how does your newfound power feel? Has it gone to your head yet? I feel proud. No, it's not feeling. So many people are counting on me and I can't let them down. Yeah, it's a scary thing to be responsible for others, especially when you're not picking mushrooms, you're taking them to war. Even if you win, some of them surely won't make it back home, and you're the one who has to bear the burden. Ulbrich runs his hand over his beard and shakes his head in thought. I know you'll do just fine, and not because I've seen you in battle, although you are worth a whole band of warriors in a fight. I know you'll make a fine war chief because you're not thinking about power or honors. You're concerned about the people in your charge. As long as you hold on to that, you've nothing to fear. I didn't come here just to flap my gums. Since I'm going to war and you're in charge, I better do this the right way. Ulbrich lowers his head and says solemnly, my blade and my life are yours, war chief. I mean, it's not like I need a blade. My talons and beak will do the trick. But saying it like that is the done thing. My talons and beak are yours just doesn't have the same ring to it. There's something else. I can already see things are bad, but the tales of Sarkorian burning down and its people dying out? I'm sorry. I don't believe those. It can't be true. We're not the kind of folk to be snuffed out like that. I have kin in a village not far from here. Curran and Teglin? Let's go there and talk to them before you can say... Oh wait, have them fill us in. They're smart folk. Perhaps they'll help us in battle too. Together we'll clean up Sarkorian before you can say, aren't ye foul creatures? Ulbrich bumps his fist into his palm with a chuckle of bravado. Alright, I'll go prepare for the road ahead. Take care, war chief. Okay. Ulbrich's personal quest has been started! Yes! Oh, I'm so excited for this. Okay, who else do we got? Okay, we've been here. Oh, the mysterious elf. Damn it, you again! Bye! Woljif! Hey, chief, wanna talk? What do you think of my new powers? Woljif pauses to think, rubbing his chin. You mean what you did back there? I have a few ideas. We could send you to Patak's underground arena to fight. Give you a scary name like Swift Sting or something like that. Give you a great cover story. Enemies burn down your house. You're avenging your dead family. The public eats that stuff up. You'll wear a shiny, eye-catching outfit or a black one if you like black feather. We'll split the prize money 60-40, 60 for me, of course. You know, arranging fights isn't easy with people. Those people are tough. I'll be taking more of a risk. After that, we set up in Patak's. We'll tour different cities and make some real money. What do you think? Do you have other suggestions? Woljif grins, his yellow eyes lighting up. I got one more. Have you ever heard of Razmirin? It's some land in the River Kingdoms ruled by the King of Razmir. A friend of mine used to live in Razmirian. but he got out of there as fast as he could. Long story short, this king of theirs is a god. He keeps his people under heel. They're all terrified of what he might do. He sits on a throne, wearing a white mask, giving power to anyone. Come and take power from me, he says, so long as you believe in me. And Woljif quickly checks that no one is eavesdropping. But that friend of mine, the one who fled, has a half-sister on his old man side who's a cook in the castle, and a washerwoman who the cook plays cards with in the evenings told her a juicy rumor. The word is, he isn't a real god at all. He's got no powers. So here's my point. You do have powers, pretty scary ones too. We'll find some shabby little kingdom, we'll start some rumors, you'll show off a few tricks to wow the locals, and that's it. We'll make you a deity. But first, I want you to put in writing that I'll be your chief advisor. I'm not doing anything just on a nod. I've been there. People promise you a mountain of gold, and then when it comes to, they're all like, get lost, or I'll set the dogs on you. So you like that idea? I think it's a great idea. We'll work on it as soon as we get out of this mess. No, 100%. Abby is going down this road. I think this is the most hilarious. Woljif rubs his hands pleased. I'm gonna make you such a legend, you'll love it. A survivor in Canabris becomes a goddess. We'll make you a cult that'll put Ayamade to shame. In the meantime, you can think about what you want on your coin and my insurance. Don't forget the written declaration making me your chief advisor. I would never, Woljif. I would never, ever, ever, ever forget that. Oh my gosh, Woljif, why is that so funny? I gotta talk to you, but not yet. Okay, then there's Sosil. So we'll talk to Sosil, and then I think Darren is like over here, and then we'll go back and talk to Sela again. So I'm back to recording, and I realized Kian is very tiny all of a sudden. I know that there's been like updates on the mod and everything like that since I last recorded, but I don't think I expected him to be quite so small now. Sweetie, you're beautiful. Apparently he still makes big dragon noises though. I don't think we had talked to Sosil. I think Sosil was the next one to talk to. And then I need to talk to you after, but Sosil first.
Hello again.
Hi.
I'm very pleased to meet you. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
You're welcome. A young cleric stands before an easel, his brush hovering over the canvas without touching it. Instead of painting, the young man absent-mindedly gazes at the sky of Canabris, which is still streaked with towering plumes of black smoke. Finally, he notices you and smiles.
It's a pity I wasn't there at the Grey Garrison to witness your feats of strength with my own eyes. The flash, however, could be seen miles and miles away. Some people were frightened of it, thinking that the demons had blown up the remains of the keep. I, for one, knew immediately that it was a good sign. The light above the city showed us that there was still hope.
Who are you, and how could you possibly be of use to my army?
My name is Sozio Vanek. I am a cleric of Shaylin, the Eternal Rose and the Goddess of Beauty. Yes, I know that many people would consider me useless in a war. This is not a usual war, though.
No, it's
Just
not.
consider our enemy. The Abyss and his demons are the very embodiment of everything evil and ugly in the world. Perhaps a disciple of kindness and beauty might come in handy. I have no doubt that we will win this war, Commander. We just have to. It is our destiny. My role is to help you, and all those standing by your side in this struggle, to survive and flourish. Everyone deserves the chance to find peace and happiness in the world that they are defending so selflessly.
I mean, he's not wrong. They do. What are you painting? The cleric's eyes linger mournfully on the canvas. The unfinished painting depicts a temple crowned with rainbow-tailed birds, the symbol of Shellen. 5 people dressed in robes stand before the temple, men and women, young and old. They all gaze back at you with radiant happiness and joy in their serene eyes.
My brothers and sisters in faith. They sent me for help, and then they saved my life, Commander. If the Prioress hadn't ordered me to escape the city and seek help, I would have died right along with them. Instead, I met Queen Galfrey on my way to Nerosian, and hurriedly returned to Canabris, only to find my friends dead on the steps of our desecrated temple.
No, I'm sorry.
I want to draw them the way they live on in my memory. Wise, beautiful, and loyal to their goddess and their city to the very end.
That's actually very kind of you. This is why you have to treasure every moment you spend with the ones you love. Today you're together, but who knows? I don't know why that's chaotic. I mean, I get why I'm sorry for your loss is good, but I don't know. I like the chaotic response here. I think that's a good one.
You're right. I took their company for granted and never even imagined that they might just disappear in the blink of an eye. So many words left unspoken. Now it's my duty to make sure my friends and tutors did not die in vain. I will honor their sacrifice by making this world a bit more beautiful and kind.
I think that they would like that. What made an artist enlist in the army? I assume it's that, but I mean, the question's there.
Perhaps I am a true artist, or simply an amateur who defaces canvases in my spare time. My goddess is a patron of art, so painting is part of my prayer, and I put all my heart into my pieces. But I am a cleric above all else, so I must also tend to others. I went to war because here's where I'm most needed. Sure, I could be painting idyllic landscapes and offering empty prayers to my goddess, but that won't stop people from dying. My goddess has no tolerance for false piety.
I appreciate that about him, and I like how he's very much like a self-starter in that regard. You wanted to discuss something with me.
Yes, I have a personal request.
Of course.
Before we undertake our journey and leave Canabris behind, I would like to visit Martyr Zacharias' cemetery for a funeral. It's not far from here, and it's important. I would like to pay my respects to my friends from the Temple of Shaylin who died defending the city. Also, if it's not too much trouble, I would like you to come with me to honor their memory. Their friends and family will be at the funeral, and perhaps the commander's personal presence will bring them comfort.
I would be honored to go.
I know that you are burdened by many cares right now, so I understand if you can't find the time. But if you could, I would be sincerely grateful.
No, we'll go. Don't worry. It was nice meeting you.
You must be rather busy indeed. Leading a crusade all by yourself is no joke. I still believe that you are up to the task. This war has been raging for 100 years, but you've given us a chance at victory.
Okay. Come on, my tiny little dragon. Commander, a tall man with piercing yellow-green eyes gives you a brief nod. Let me personally congratulate you on your new title and thank you for your time in advance. I'm Leotar Hawkblade, an Inquisitor of the Church of Iomade, the Bringer of Light. I require your assistance in a certain delicate matter involving one of your companions, the young Count Darren Arenday. Oh? What brings you? I ask that you assist the Church of Iomade in an investigation of the utmost importance. I understand that the leader of the crusade has plenty of other matters to attend to, but please allow me to tell you the details. Perhaps it will explain why I'm calling upon you. The Inquisitor's open face instantly reveals his feelings. He frowns and looks through you, lost in his thoughts for a moment. I suppose you've already heard about Count Arenday's story. I refer to the tragedy at Heaven's Edge Estate. You're going to investigate this old case again, aren't you? You can, by the way, pick the other option and get the 411 on what happened, but I do believe we've already covered that in previous episodes, and I already know what's happened, so, and I think we've already heard parts of it, and I'm guessing we'll get some more now. Yes, I am. I have several reasons to doubt the widely shared account of what exactly happened at the estate and how it happened. You see, Commander, I was among those sent to examine the estate after the incident. I saw everything with my own eyes, and I still remember it clearly, even though it feels like it happened a lifetime ago. Heaven's Edge was a unique place that still carried the spirit of old Mendev before the World Wound, and yet on that day it turned into a labyrinthine house of horrors, like something only seen in our nightmares. Apologies for the digression. I wanted to tell you about my suspicions. Everything about the incident seemed odd. Why was the only person left alive a young boy with a newfound talent for divine magic? Why did nobody send to Canabris for help, even though the agony spanned many hours? We found the demons dead with their heads cut off when we got into the estate. How were they defeated? How did the disease kill even the paladins present at the estate, who are said to be immune to any disease? If the demons had found a way to penetrate the holy warriors' defenses, why has this never been repeated since the tragedy at Heaven's Edge? You are the only person who can help me here, Commander, because the only living witness of those events is currently serving in your army. Your army's route will take you near the very site of the tragedy. Heaven's Edge has been abandoned and sealed with potent magic throughout all these years. Only the Count has the power to break the seal. He's unlikely to invite an Inquisitor inside, and in any case, he won't like me sniffing around his family seat. But if you, as his commander, express your wish to visit the estate, he'll be obliged to fulfill it, and I will simply follow you as one of your attendants. There are hundreds of ways, 1,000 paths, myriad loopholes in human lives that the forces of evil can use to their advantage. I am not sure which one of those led the demons to the gates of Heaven's Edge, but I do know it wasn't a simple raid, and the kind crusaders face every day. That incident involved a significantly more powerful entity, and that is why I'm asking for your help. We cannot be sure that such a tragedy will not happen again until we uncover the truth. You've already been to the estate. What do you expect to find now? I was young and inexperienced inquisitor when I first visited Heaven's Edge 10 years ago. My skills have improved significantly since then, and I paid dearly for that. He makes a vague gesture pointing at his scars. My arsenal includes many spells and techniques dedicated to gathering information about people and events. Almost all of them require me to be physically present in the place where the event in question happened. That's why I must return to Heaven's Edge. Did you question Darren? I did, but the Count insisted he couldn't remember anything about the incident due to severe shock. He saw the demons at the very beginning when they appeared at the celebration to announce the onset of the plague and mock their victims. He also witnessed the death of his mother, Countess Silena. That was all he would tell me. We found the young Count sleeping in like a log on the floor in one of the rear chambers, having drunk about half the family wine cellar all by himself. There's no reason to disbelieve him on that matter. So you suspect that Darren is hiding something that he's to blame? I deliberately refuse to entertain any theories or suspicions so that it doesn't affect the investigation. There is a saying among my colleagues that suspicion is the mother of prejudice, and prejudice is married to failure. I can only tell you that Count Arendelle wasn't suffering from demonic possession, the most common malaise in our country at the time. Prelate Halloran himself examined the boy right after the tragedy, and he didn't sense anything awry with him. Sure. He bows his head. Thank you, Commander. Now I ask you to speak to the Count. Tell him you wish to see him at Heaven's Edge. Please do not inform him of my presence right away. I'll join your escort when it's time to travel to the estate. When we get there, I'll also require your help during the investigation. You'll have to follow me, observing my actions as an independent witness. If you have any other questions, please feel free to ask me. I'll remain here for a while. Okay. So, we got that going now. So now we know more about Darren in that regard. Darren! Speak of the Darren.